Hey guys, welcome back to Amanda's Favorites. This video is going to be wrapping up the three main planners I used in 2017, which are three really popular planners, and how I planned in them. In Erin Condren, in Inkwell Press, and in Passion Planner. Now I have many videos on each one of these planners, but I still get questions a lot on how I planned, like my specific planning system in these planners. And then I'm going to answer another question I get a lot too, which is how do I choose which planner to use when I have so many choices in front of me now? So I'm going to try to answer those questions in our video today. All right, let's start off with starting at the beginning of 2017 because I wasn't into these planners yet. My channel hadn't even started. In the beginning of 2017, I was actually using what I had used for the past 2 years. So in 2015 and 2016, I was using Plum Paper Weekly and Emily Lay Daily, this combination. And I have other videos talking about this too. But my channel started in March of 2017. And that's when I started, having a lot more planner choices. But before my channel started, I got into Inkwell Press at the very end of 2016. I placed my first Inkwell Press order in December of 2016 and fell in love with that company. And so I knew that even though I had bought my planners for 2017, and at that point I had no plans to start a channel, but I knew my planning system was going to be disrupted because I had bought the Inkwell Press quarterlies. That was my very first purchase from them, so not this one. It was their quarterly planners, and I bought those in December of 2016 to try out their company. At that point, like I said, I had no plans to start a planner channel. So I started out 2017 still using my Plum Paper, and I have videos all about this, but I have the one with 7 boxes, and you can choose what to write in your 7 boxes. By the end of my time using this, I wasn't using what the boxes were labeled. I had labeled it go-to and my 1, 2, 3 for the day, so my top 3. Computer work, anything I need to call on, and my calling at church. But I had started to use it completely different. As you can see, I wrote gym down here, and I was just using it as 7 boxes. And the only one that was really delegated and still used that way was my go-to, my top box. Those would always be my appointments or places I had to go for the day. And then beyond that, these would just get filled up with to-dos, and I was writing the gym down here. So I was using my Plum Paper and I was using my Emily Lay. I did not plan ahead in my Emily Lay, and I mainly used it. It really morphed into being just a 2-sided to-do list because I don't have enough appointments daily to fill in the appointment side. And so it really morphed into a 2-sided to-do list. Then I switched really quickly in the beginning of 2017 from this system. I kept using Emily Lay as my daily, but I decided I really wanted to use Inkwell Press. So I've always used for the past several years a daily in conjunction with a weekly. And the weekly lays on my kitchen desk open all the time, and it's kind of like the command hub of my planners. And the daily sits next to me at my table where I work all day and homeschool one of my kids. And my daily, whatever I choose to use, I switch out daily a lot still, even now. But whatever I choose to use, it just becomes my running to-do list of the day. And I have a lot of videos about that too. Okay, so I switched from Plum Paper to my Inkwell Press. Let's talk about how I planned in Inkwell Press, because this is a question I get a lot. For a while, I tried to divide my page. They have what they call these magic dots. They're teeny tiny dots at the top and at the bottom of the page. So I'll have to go to a clean page to be able to show you guys these dots because I drew over them and you can't see them. Let me find a page that's not written on. Okay, so these magic dots are, there's one right there, And then at the bottom of the page, there's one right there. And they have those, and that's why this is called the flex system, so that you can divide your horizontal day right down the middle there. Now, I will admit, my brain thinks more vertically in a weekly planner. This is actually the first horizontal planner that I have used for planning, not for journaling, because I have used horizontal planners for journaling. It's the first horizontal planner I've used for planning in several years. So I think the reason why it worked for me are the 3 boxes, why I could make it work. And I made it work because she doesn't sell the vertical on her site, and she only sells the vertical at Office Max, Office Depot. And I started out just buying off her site and didn't know that much about the company. So I also, because the quarterly only comes in the horizontal, and I started out with the quarterly. Then the quarterly I ended up using for journaling for a lot of 2017. But let's go back to the 3 boxes I use for my go-tos or appointments of the day. That means any appointment I have or any errand that is non-negotiable that has to happen that day, so I treat that like an appointment, then that goes in my 3 boxes. Okay, so let's go back and look at my planning for one of these weeks. Some of these are the weeks I divided with the line, and some weeks I didn't. So these weeks are divided with the line, and basically that just divided up my to-dos. So I would just write smaller, and I didn't need a whole long area for to-dos. I was trying to do my to-dos into 2 lists right here. And all right, here's my appointments or something that had to happen that day. They go in my boxes, so they were easy to see. And you can see how full my weeks would get in here. And then my extra list notes down here. All right, so this is what my weeks were looking like. As you can see, I mean, every week looks different. Here is where I did not divide with the magic dots, as I'll call them. I did not divide that. And so it looks a little bit different. But with those 3 boxes, I was actually able to make a horizontal work for me. Because normally a vertical flows for me because I keep all my appointments, go-tos for the day in the top section of a vertical, and I can glance across and see my whole week that way. This way worked because I could glance down and easily see in the boxes all my appointments for the whole week. So Inkwell is the first horizontal that has worked for me for my weekly planning in a long, long time, many years. But I will say I still prefer vertical. And I really wish Inkwell's 3 boxes on their vertical layout went at the top, because their 3 boxes on their vertical layout go at the bottom. And I have videos on that too if you want to see details on that. I have a whole playlist on Inkwell Press. Okay, so that is how I planned in Inkwell Press. I did use the calendar in here, but if you follow me, you know that like my calendar that is set in stone, that every single thing gets put on for the monthly view, is my wall calendar by Inkwell. That is right up on the wall. You can only buy that at Office Max, Office Depot, and it's right up on the wall in front of my desk in the kitchen. And so everything doesn't always get transferred to the monthly in my planner because I'm always going off that monthly on the wall. But it does get transferred to my weeks in my planner. And then I absolutely love her mission boards, plan and focus page, and daily habit tracker that you get for every single month. So you get this for every single month in your planner. And I did not always match my things with her words here. Like she has health, home, me time, be social, financial, and dream big. I just wrote down what I needed to keep track of that month. There were certain categories. Then this was kind of an ongoing to-do list for the month of things I needed to make sure happened that month. And these were my habit trackers. So I really loved Inkwell Press. I still love Inkwell Press to this day. And my very favorite thing about them is their paper quality. At 140 GSM, you cannot beat this paper. And it just feels amazing to write on. All my checks right here are Sharpie, the big Sharpie marker. And because of their paper, it did not bother me. I love to visually check off each day with a Sharpie because then as I just glance at my week, I know what day I'm on, the first blank one without a check. And as you can see, nothing went through. It really doesn't, even the big Sharpie. So it did not bother me to be able to check that off with a big Sharpie, and I loved that. I also love that in the back of Inkwell, they have a lot of pockets, and then they have their amazing accordion pocket, which holds their little sewn journals that are A5 size. Holds it perfectly, and you can shut your book with it and everything. And I love that because they only come with a few note pages in the back, like most planners do. They have a few note pages in the back, but if you need a lot of note pages or to keep a separate notebook with you all the time, just for other lists you want to keep all year, you can keep their little sewn journal in here, and I love that about Inkwell. I'm not someone who has to travel with my planner, so, and here's something about O-rings, you guys. This does happen. You get stuck with your O-rings and you have to return it and get it all back right. If you've used O-rings, you know that. And that's why O-rings are not always my favorite planners, but Inkwell, I just love them. I love their look, their paper, and this is their 2017. Since that's the one I used, I'm showing you. That was their 2017 calendar year. So that's a run through of how I planned in that. Now, after Inkwell, I went into Passion Planner. So I was in Inkwell for, let's see, I think almost 3 months. Then I entered into Passion Planner on May the 1st. Passion Planner is so different from Inkwell. I know, but I loved it too for all different reasons. They have their passion roadmap and all their goal setting strategies in here. So I say that's a big plus of the planner, but you can use the planner without doing that. If you don't want to do the passion roadmap and you don't want to fill out the monthly reflections every month in between each month, you don't have to. So if you're not familiar with Passion Planner, I have the undated version. They also make a dated version. So in the undated, all your months are up front. That, of course, is because they don't know which months when you're going to start it and which months would have 4 or 5 weeks. So they wouldn't know how many months to follow, how many weeks to follow each month with in your weekly spreads, okay? So they have all the months up front, and then you have all your weekly spreads. If you buy the dated version of Passion Planner, you will have just your month followed by the weeks in that month, and then your next month followed by the weeks in that month. Okay, I love having all the months up front if it's a planner without tabs, because it's really easy to find all my month views to plan on. But if you get the dated from Passion Planner, there are many sticker stores, and my favorite being Chelsea Brown Designs on Etsy. I will try to remember to link her below, but if not, you can find her just by Googling Chelsea Brown Designs on Etsy. And she sells amazing tabs as well as tons of Passion Planner stickers. And I have a whole video about her stickers on my channel too. But so you can buy tabs that fit and match and look great in your Passion Planner if that's a concern. Okay, I got the bigger Passion Planner, which is full size 8.5 by 11 size. So it is bigger than your normal 7 by 9 planner. Passion Planner also makes a smaller size, which is an A5 size. So it's like half of this full size page. And so that's smaller than your typical 7 by 9 planner. So they have 2 sizes to choose from. I used the monthly in here, but like I said, my main monthly is on the wall. In between each month, you get a monthly reflection. But here's how my months looked in Passion Planner. You have lots of room down here for lists. You have lots of room over here for lists. One thing I love about Passion Planner is she gives you always 6 weeks here in the undated, and in the dated she just gives as many as needed and bumps this based accordingly. But so you never have half days drawn, either diagonal or drawn in half. The way the month falls, you never get a day split in half here. And I absolutely love that because I can never fit anything on a half day in my calendar. So I liked the undated for lots of reasons. I also like the dated. The undated, I gave every month a color, and then I would carry that out throughout the weeks. So they match. So it was easy to tell which month I was in for me visually, because this was like my June color and this was my June color. And you saw my May color. And how did planning in May looked like that. So I would give each month a color, and you saw my May, June. Let's see, July color was the red and blue. August was green and purple. September was a purple. And October, which I left out of my planner before I got to October, but it was orange, my favorite month of the year. So let's talk about how I plan my days in here really quick. All right, I started out in this planner. I thought, well, since it has timed slots, I've never actually gone by that in a planner, but I'm going to try it first, and I'm going to see if it helps me, if it makes sense for me. So at first, I was putting the event where it is in the time slot and blocking it out like that. But since my planner becomes a running to-do list, even though I tried to make those events stand out either by coloring them in or making them the color of the month, it still became difficult because I would have like event, like timed event, then to-dos, timed event, to-dos. And for my schedule in my life, that's just not the way it worked. In my mind, it didn't flow right. So I started then, where did I start that? I started drawing a line across here and just ignoring the time slots. So I completely just took them out of my mind, which a lot of people do. And the sticker companies make columns here that you can cover these up with. They make columns with checklists on them if you want to use it that way. But I just drew a line, and then I would write all my appointments up here, or my go-tos would go above the line. And so I could easily see if I didn't have something on that day. And then all my to-dos would go below the line. So that's the way I started using it. And that really worked well for me because that's the way I've always used my vertical planners. So I just decided to do away with the time slot. I did really like having my list on the same page with my planning. I did like that for this time. I did utilize that list down there. I did utilize their habit trackers. They have a lot of free printables on passionplanner.com that you can print. They, in fact, let you print their entire planner pages to try out, which I absolutely love when any company does that. You can print in the right size too. So that's what I did first. I printed both sizes, the classic and the compact, and tried them out before buying. So go to their site and you can get access to their free printables. They tell you how. And one of their free printables is a habit tracker, and I would tape that in every week here on your Space of Infinite Possibility. So I cut down their habit tracker because I didn't need it as big as they have it. So that worked for me. Many of the sticker stores like Chelsea Brown Designs also sell habit trackers of all different sizes and all type of things like that. I didn't have this divided into work to-do lists like they do and personal to-do list. It was just my to-do list. But I did usually keep the errands separate down here like they have it labeled. So I really did like that. I love so much about Passion Planner. I also love that there is no coil to work around. Love it. I don't haul my book around a lot of places. My planner stays open on my desk like 24/7. And I didn't know how this binding would hold up, you know, staying open 24/7 for the most part, but it held up perfectly. I used this for about 5 months and I loved it. And I loved that I could choose a color every month and make it my own. So this is kind of how my pages looked pre-planned before I got to that date and time. I used a lot of sticky notes, and I leave those stuck at the beginning of all my planners. And that way I just pull one up whenever I need it and it's right there, and then I reload them. Sticky notes for things I'm not sure if they're gonna happen on that day or if they're gonna have to be moved. So I use a lot of those. So I loved all that about Passion Planner. They have plenty of blank pages at the end. They have grid, and then they have plain note pages. They have great paper. This paper was 100 GSM, and I had no complaints about it. Oh, there's some of Chelsea Brown Design stickers from a video that I did. I had no complaints about this paper, but they have even upped it this year to 120 GSM. So it's right there bordering on the 140 GSM Inkwell paper, and Erin Condren equates to 120, so it's the same as Erin Condren now. So I thoroughly enjoyed my time in Passion Planner. I just was ready for a change. And so I don't change unless I'm really feeling an inkling like I want something fresh. I want something new. And I just thought Erin Condren looked so fun, and I had not tried Erin Condren before. And since I was running this channel, I thought I just really needed to. And so I picked up Erin Condren. And that's when I switched to Erin Condren in September. And so I was just, like I said, I was ready for a change, but I don't switch a whole lot, you guys, because I pre-plan a lot in my planners, and that is a lot of work. For my family, I'm scheduling in all our events, and I don't want to go pre-plan ahead things. I will mix myself all up. So I change my how I do my daily lists all the time, because that is no big deal. I don't pre-plan with that. But my weekly, so I used 3 main weeklies last year in 2017. We will see. We did the Inkwell, then the Passion Planner, and then Erin Condren. I am still in Erin Condren right now, and we are on the very last day of January right now in 2018. So, and I'm very happy where I am. Right now, I am in Erin Condren Colorful. And if you follow me on Instagram at Amanda's Favorites, I give updates there all the time. And that's also where I do my giveaways from. And I check in there daily and really get to be able to get to know you guys a little bit better on Instagram. So come on over there. All right. So here's how I planned in Erin Condren. I've already gone over my main planning style. I started in neutral, but decided I wanted to try out the colorful for the new year because I already had it. I absolutely love having a calendar year planner and a fresh start in January. It just feels really good to me. There's been plenty of times that I haven't changed my planner in January where it's carried over, and that's fine too. But since I had the colorful already and I wanted to try it out, I think I'm preferring the colorful now that I've used them both. But I like the neutral too. You can add her seasonal stickers. I'm not a big sticker person, but you can add her seasonal stickers in from just her seasonal sticker book for the year. And it just adds a little bit to her neutral if you want to add a little bit of fun. I use her top box for my go-tos or my appointments like I've talked about. I pick 1 to 2 colors a month to go based on the month of her colors and the season. And then I stick with those colors besides black pin so that I don't confuse myself. I put my workout down here, and then I started putting my weather down there too. So here's what my monthly looks like. I don't normally have these extra stickers, but these came in her fall seasonal surprise box, which I got. And so that's why those are in there. I do love the way it looks though, with those on there. Okay, so let me show you. My November looks like this without my seasonal stickers. And then let's show you where I've been putting in my weather. So I'll kind of flip through here so you can see. My weekly list just kind of goes there. Any other to-dos just randomly go on the bottom 2 boxes. There's no rhyme or reason to it. And I'm basically just checking in here every day before I make my daily list in whatever daily planner or just daily notebook I'm using at the time. And so you see I started putting in my weather down here too, and then my workout below it. And then I started making my weather the color of the month so it would stand out more. And I like to check off every day because as you saw in the Inkwell, I'm a very visual person, and when I see the check, then I automatically know what day I'm on. I know that, you know, some people think it just looks messy and why do I have to cross every single thing out? I've been asked that and put so many checks. It's just the way my mind works, and I am not about making a pretty planner for just a pretty planner spread to show on social. That's just not what my channel's about. It's not what I'm about. I don't have time in my life for that, and it's frankly not something that I enjoy making like a scrapbook planner. I know some people do, and they're beautiful, and I love looking at other people's. It's just not what I enjoy, and I use my planner functionally 100%. It is for my life. I would fall apart without my planner. And so this is the real planner that I use every day to keep my life together. So you know, you definitely see the real mess of it in here. Okay, so like I said, those are my running to-dos non-negotiable errands and appointments go in the top box. So if nothing is in there for that day, then I can know there's not anything pressing time-wise or somewhere I have to go, and then I can plan my day accordingly. And so this is how my planning has looked in my Erin Condren. So for my monthly pages, people have asked me, and I have a saved Instagram story about this, I think, how I ended up using my monthly pages here. And I did end up coming up with a system. They're all filled in now in the planner that I'm in. I thought I utilized them more in here, but I guess I didn't. I was figuring out my system on those monthly pages. So I did put when we do something with my parents, when we do something with my husband's dad, which usually we do 2 Sunday dinners a month, when we get donuts that month, and when we had our date that month. So I can keep track of that. I also keep track of visiting teaching for my church. I keep track of big things that maybe got done. And this, I just happened to write down the weather because I thought it was insane. And I wanted to remember that it was 91 degrees on November 5th. And I was not happy about it. I think that had to be a record, even for us here in North Texas. So that's how I ended up using those pages. And mine now in 2018 are a lot more filled in even than this. But that's how I've been using them. To be honest, I'm not a huge fan of the circles at all. I feel it's a lot of wasted space on the page. I would rather these be made into something else, just more columns, lines, boxes would make more sense to me. But that's just my brain. So, but I'm okay with it. And I can't wait to see what she comes out with 2019 and if that changes at all. But I'm a big fan of Erin Condren now that I've used her. And I have a whole playlist about her, answering lots of questions, telling you about products of hers that I like, some that I haven't loved. And so there you go. That is my planning. I have a few more stickers in December just because this little seasonal kit was so cute and I wanted to use it. But that's how I planned in 2017. Okay, before we go, let's answer the question, how do I pick which planner I use? I kind of already answered that. I just go with my feeling. I get a lot of planners to review. And if there's one that I think I really want to possibly switch to or just try out, I just fill out a week or 2 in it. I don't switch to it. This stays on my desk. I just fill out a week or 2 in it, and I kind of live with it sitting on the table downstairs and see how I would feel functioning out of it. And I don't even usually go a full day, and that's how I know. I don't go a full day and I say no because of this, and this. It's not working as well as what I'm using right now for me. I'm not as happy in it, and so I'm staying where I am. So that's how I do it. I just fill out a week or 2 in it, and then I automatically 100% know. I'm just lucky that since now I have this channel, I have a lot of planners at my disposal. But before I had this channel, I just would have to pick my planner for the year, and I just had to stay with it because I didn't have the funds to be switching. And so that's why I used plum paper for 2 full years before this planner started, and before my channel started, and I used Emily Lay for 2 full years in conjunction with it. And I have videos all about those too. So I did not switch planners before this channel. I would pick my planners for the year, and even if I didn't love them, I would just stay with them because that's what most people have to do, I think, unless you have a lot of extra funds or planning is a big hobby for you. And I would say I was always interested in planners, but I didn't put it as a huge priority to make it a hobby or, spend a lot of our extra money on it. And now I'm just having so much fun with this channel, being able to review all the planners that are sent to me, being able to spread the word to you guys. So it's all because of you guys watching. This channel would be nothing without you and without your interactions and your comments. And I love interacting with you on Instagram every day too. So please come join me there if you're interested. Thanks for following, you guys. I hope this video was helpful to someone, and have a great day. Happy planning. We'll see you next time.